everyone, welcome back to Same Right Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. So here on this channel we will be making this beautiful dress on the thumbnail. So the way it is exactly on the thumbnail, that is what we are going to make right here. So it's actually a decorative tube. So this is how it's going to be done. So I have my shoulder line as usual. That is my full body's dress, because this is actually asymmetric. We have our chest line. This is the bust point, under bust line, and our waistline. So to begin this tutorial without wasting much time, I'm going to divide my shoulder seam line. Of course, you know that is what we always do, and get the midpoint. So once we have gotten the midpoint, I'm going to connect what I have on that midpoint to the bust point. So I'll also get the midpoint for this, and I'll connect to the bust point. So you can decide to go around your bust. Of course, you know how we do that. By taking the bust point circumference, we'll just make dotted lines all around, and that shows where the bust is going to sit at the end of the day. So this is it. The bust is sitting right there, and since it's asymmetric, whatever you do for the right, you also do for the left as well, and that is what I'm doing exactly, as you can see me doing it right here. So people, the next thing we want to do now, we want to create this neckline, okay, the way it is there on the thumbnail. So for this neckline, I'll just come to the shoulder midline. I'm going to go up by 1 inch. This is my 1 inch, and I'll extend this shoulder midline by 1 inch. Once I've done that, I'll come to the center front. This line you have here is your center front line. This is the bust point line. So I'll come down from that bust point line by half an inch. This is my half an inch. From this half an inch, I'll come out by another half an inch. So I'm going to connect this half an inch I came out to the 1 inch I came above. Can you see? And from here, I will blend it into, I will have it slide into this line. Of course, you see I have it move into this line to that point. So I'll come over here again, center front line. I'll come out from here by 0.5. This is it. From here I'll come out by 0.5, and at that 0.5 I will go over and measure my bust radius. This is the mark. I'm going to come up with it by 0.5 so I can create my neckline. So my neckline now, I'm creating it to move into the armhole. So at the end of the day, we will not have any need to replace. I'll place my dart here to the 0.5 I came out. My pattern ruler, I'll blend it. Okay, so whatever I have between here and here, to form that curve, I'll use any of these holes I have there, any one that matches. Of course, I'm using the bigger one on that line. I'll just match it, okay, that way. Or if there's another line that can match it, okay, but let it be exactly at that point. Okay, so I think that bigger one. So what I can do is just to blend it up into that line, as I've used this bigger line. So this is the actual line we are working with, as it is right there on the thumbnail. So we've gotten the shape of the neckline, and it's time for us to start contouring what we have all over this dress. So for this, I'm going to use a princess dart, as you can see used right there on the thumbnail. So my princess dart, I will take my armhole circumference. I have 10.5. 10.5 divided by 2. This is 5.25. I'll come down by 1 inch for my princess dart. And here, I'm going to position my princess dart, my curve ruler, this way. getting to this point, I'll just come out from here I'll come out by 0.5 or 0.35 to accommodate my dart. So this is it, and here I'll just reblend my line. Can you see that? So I've gotten my princess dart, and I'm going to contour my underbust. So for my underbust line, from the center front, I'm going to take my underbust circumference, as we usually do, divide by 4. Whatever I have left, I'll put 0.25 here, and the rest of it here. So once that is done, I'm going to position my ruler to contour my underbust, as you can see. So this goes to this, and this connects back to the dart. So as it stands now, we are done with this part, and we want to move over to this part. So moving over to this part, I want to contour my underbust first. So the same thing I did here, I'll just go in and mark my 0.25 and the rest that was remaining to contour that part, so we don't waste too much time. So I place my pattern ruler. Of course, you see how I place it, and I go this way. So make sure you place your ruler very well. From here I go in here, and from here I go in there. Now the overbust, I'm going to contour the overbust because we have a neckline to avoid gaping. So from here I go in by 0.75, and from here another 0.75, and I'm going to bring my ruler. I'll place it the straight part this way. I'll flip the straight part this way, as you can see. So people, that is that, and that is how to go about this dress. So I'm going to cut now because we are done with this class. So I'll just go in here. Let me cut off this side. Then we'll start cutting on the waist line. So when you are making this drafting, you have to follow video instructions the same way you see me draft here. That is exactly what you are going to do with your own measurements. So the upper part is going to be your bodies. You'll be drafting if you are having this illusion mesh. Exactly, I want to say something about the illusion mesh. If you are having that mesh, exactly, that means you'll be cutting out the yoke part of this dress, and that yoke part of this dress, or the dress, you can sew a dress and wear this on top. So we are just concentrating on the orange part of this. Okay, so you can now make your dress and wear this on top of it. So for this, I'll just come in here and cut off my princess darts. I'll come in here, cut off the princess dart, and then cut off this. So I'll close up my bust dart right now. I'm going to apply my adhesive to close up my bust dart. So here my bust dart is closed, and I call this front number 1. I call the whole of this front number 2, and I'll come out this way. I'll come out this way. And then I'll close up my bust dart again. So closing up my bust dart here, as you can see, I am done with this part. So this is what you have for this dress on the upper part. Note that this is F3. So at the end of the day, you'll be sewing this to this. So you match this to be sure you don't have an excess. So if you have a shortage, simply place your pepper below once again. So I have a shortage there. I'll just go in and place my pepper below. I'm going to apply my adhesive so I'll be able to get this. So make sure you match your, you can see the lines have to match before you place your pepper. So once that is done, you can come back with your pattern ruler and position it back the same way we position to fill up that part. So this is the part you could have had a shortage to. So this is the part, and I'm going to cut it off now. So this is the shortage, as you can see. So make sure you gum it accordingly so it doesn't move up and down. So this part can go off. So you can see what we have on this part. So everything now matches up for us. Then this is the princess dart, and that is exactly what you need for this particular dress, okay, for the front part. So for the back, you can just make a simple, because this is actually a tube, so you can just make a simple tube back. Of course, you know how to make your tube back. So I want to talk about the peplum aspect of this dress. Now we want to start up the peplum. So for the peplum, this is how you are going to achieve your peplum. So if you are working with a round waist of 36 inches, you'll be adding half of your round waist because we have a coil. Okay, you can see the rows formed with that particular peplum. So we are cutting 360 degrees peplum, but we are going to use circumference of 36 plus half of your circumference. So whatever your waist circumference is, add another half. Okay, half of 36 is 18. So here I will divide everything by 6.28. So 36 plus 18 divide by 6.28. So that means we'll be working with 54. So 54 divided by 6.28. So whatever thing you have will be your radius for this your flip. So I'm just using a small scale drafting for this. So I'll just fold my pepper. If this is your fabric, you fold once, you fold another. That is your 360 degrees. I'll fold again. So divide by 6.28. I'm going to mark out my radius. So I'll just pretend my radius is 22 inches. I'm just pretending. So whatever your radius is, mark it out. Now if you have marked out your radius, take the length of the longest part of it. If you look at the peplum at the front, you can see the longest part of it. So whatever you wish the longest part of it to be, this is it. But okay, let me just take the shorter part of my pepper because my pepper is actually small. So I'll use this to be the measurement of the longest. So most peplum sits at 8 inches, but that one is actually long, so you can make it at 10 inches from the waist. So I cut it off and I cut it off. Okay, so once I've cut off, I'm going to open up one of the sides. So I've opened up one of the sides now, and I'm going to mark this other side. I'll just make a mark at the cardinal point. So once I've marked at the cardinal points, I'll come open my peplum. Okay, so the peplum from this cardinal point, I have, let me say, from this part I open, I name 1, 2, 3, 4 points. So from the third point, from the tip of this, I'm going to blend into, like, you can divide this one into 3. That is number 4th line into 3. I have 5.25. So divide by 3 can give you 1.7. So the 3rd line, 1.75. The 3rd line you connect. Then from that line, you now connect to the tip of this. I believe this is understandable. So that is how that peplum is formed. So I'll just cut from there and blend it up to the next point. So this is what you have for that peplum. So if you notice that peplum, you can see it was fixed at the depth of this. This one comes over and forms that, you use it to form the rows and tack. You form the rows and tack. Can you see? So this is where the waist will be sewn. So by the time you sew it, you can see what we have on the thumbnail. So that is how to go about this particular peplum. So thank you very much for coming to this tutorial, and I believe you learned some tips and tricks from this class once again. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming. See you in the next class. Bye.